Would do this video after the last week and see if I've got the virus. In the last 24 hours, have you had any of the following? Fatigue, eye pain, aches, muscles, cough. I'm not going to drag it out too long. Page down. Stuffy, runny nose. Yeah, chills, had all that. Next. Any of these symptoms? Fatigue, yes, I've had that. Eye pain, yes, I've had that. Aches, muscles. I think you get aches, muscles with a broken neck, don't you? Fever, yeah, cough, loss of smell, sore throat. Definitely got a sore throat. Nausea, yes, bit of that. Stuffy, runny nose. Chest pain, heaps of that. Headache, yeah, big one. I stopped taking painkillers this morning. Difficulty breathing, yes, it can be. Chills, just little ones. Changes to sleep. Yes, not getting much. Now the next page. How many days have you had at least one of these symptoms? Well, how many days? That would be 7 today, wouldn't it? But actually might be more than that. Do you personally know anyone in your local community who is ill with fever and either a cough or difficulty breathing? Yes. Have you spent time with any of those people? Of course I have, yes. I was in hospital with them. Have you ever been tested for coronavirus? No way, Nelly. Have you wanted to get tested for coronavirus? Jesus Christ, what a dumbass answer that. Have you had a COVID-19 vaccination? That's not a bloody vaccine. It's a biological agent. An experimental biological agent. If a vaccine to prevent COVID-19 was offered to you today, would you choose to be vaccinated? Yes, definitely. Yes, probably. No, probably not. No, definitely not. That's big. Unless somebody indemnified me against death. Which of the following, any reason would you feel definitely won't get a COVID-19 vaccine? I don't believe I need a vaccine. I don't like vaccines. I think other people need it more than I do. Yes, they definitely do, beginning with politicians. It is against my religious beliefs. I'll become religious if it's against my belief. I am concerned about the cost of the vaccine. Bullshit. I don't know whether a COVID-19 vaccine will work. It won't work. I plan to wait and see. Yeah, I'll wait and see. I am concerned about possible side effects, of which the CDC lists thousands of them, and other. Next. This has taken more than 5 minutes. Why don't you believe that you need COVID-19 vaccine? I don't believe COVID-19 is a souvenir. I've already had COVID-19. I've already had it. You ever had a cold? I don't think vaccines are beneficial. I do not spend time with any high-risk people. They're already wearing masks, so I can stay well away from them. I plan to use masks or other personal... I'll use condoms. I'm not a member of a high-risk group. And that'll do. Move on. Next one. Would you be more likely or less likely to have a COVID-19 vaccination if it was recommended to you? Each of the following. By politicians? Less likely. Friends and family? Less likely. World Health? Definitely not. Bloody hell. These people, are they thick who does this? Doctors and other health professionals. Which ones? The government ones? Government health officials. What a load of shit. How concerned are that you would experience side effects from COVID? Very concerned. Slightly not concerned. Yeah, that'll do. Next. Have you ever been told by a doctor, nurse or other health patient that you have any of the following medical conditions? Asthma, chronic lung disease, cancer, diabetes, high blood pressure, kidney, obesity, none of those. No, I'm healthy. In the last 24 hours, have you done any of the following? Gone to work outside places you are currently staying? I've walked outside, that'll do. Gone to a market? No. Gone to a restaurant, cafe? No. Spent time with someone who isn't currently staying with you? Yes. Attended a public event? Yeah, hospital's public. Used public transport? I suppose ambulance, public transport. In the last 24 hours, have you worn a mask? Gone to work? No, never. Spent time with anyone who is currently staying with you? Spent time with someone who isn't currently, yes, or whatever. Attend a public event? No. Used public transport? Yes. That'll do. Next. In the last 24 hours, have you direct contact with anyone who is staying with you? Direct contact means spending longer than 1 minute. 1 minute within 2 metres of someone. Yes, my dogs. How many people who are not staying with you have you had direct contact in the last 24 hours? 5 to 9 will do. 24 hours. Yeah, that'll do. In the last 24 hours, approximately how many times have you washed your hands? I have washed my hands and I've been to the toilet twice. Do you have access to soap and water? I think that's what's in the soap container. Next. In the last several days, have you spent time in a health clinic or a hospital? I think so. In the last 7 days, how often have you worn a mask when in public? All the time, most of the time, some of the time, or a little of the time, none of the time. In the last 7 days, how many days have you spent time with people who aren't staying with you? That'll do. Next. How often are you intentionally avoiding contact with other people? All the time, most of the time, some of the time, none of the time. During the last 7 days, how often have you felt so serious that nothing could calm you down? None of the time, a little of the time, some of the time, none of the time. During the last 7 days, how often have you felt so depressed that nothing could cheer you up? None of them. None of the time. How worried are that you or someone in your immediate family might become seriously ill from COVID? Not worried at all. How worried are you about having enough to eat in the next week? Not worried at all. How worried are you about your household finances? Not worried at all. In the last 7 days, have you done any work for pay or done any kind of business, farming or other activity? I guess so. What are the main activities of business or agriculture? Personal services, yeah, that'll do. Age. What is your gender? I'm going to put other. I'm trans equine. Trans equus. How old are you? Old enough to know better. I'll put 75 and over. How many years of education have you completed? All of them. All of them. Next. It's not going to go anywhere. Put a valid number. 75. Which of these best describes the area where you are staying? City, town, village or rural area? How many people slept in the place where you stayed last night? 3 if you count the dogs. In the place where you are staying, how many rooms are used for sleeping? All of them? 3 rooms. Next. Are you currently pregnant? Yes. Do you smoke cigarettes? Yes. Do you have a smartphone? No. It's as dumb as dog shit. It's got Siri on it. Have you installed COVID-19? You've got to be joking. Thank you for my application. You are welcome. No problem at all. Good night. So that's the dumbass type surveys they put up. Can you imagine the people that actually experience all that bullshit? That's it. Finish recording.